Hey, good people. I'm here with Rob Geronimo,
Greetings, travelers. Hello, hello.
and we're going to talk about Wrath of Kings.
Oh, tell me about it. I never heard about it before.
You tell me about it. That's why you're here.
You do it, damn it.
Well, send me the scripts, and I'll read it all, and then I can tell the people about
Exactly.
it.
You're like, it's your damn book.
That's right. You talk about it. Now let's start with who you are, your influences, and what inspired Blood Round, and then let's talk about the first three volumes that you have leading into
Okay.
this one.
Yeah, sure.
So take
Well,
over.
first off, if anyone doesn't know, it is published by Alterna Comics.
That's right.
Yeah, so, shout out to my
Yeah.
publisher. And there's 3 volumes, and this is the fourth one that we're crowdfunding. This is going to be the biggest volume. So this one is going to be 40 pages of content per issue. And it's going to be 3 issues. So they're double sized now because we just hit the 10K stretch goal last night.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Ben was there for that event.
I was there for that.
So that was fantastic. So Blood Realm is a dark fantasy horror series, and there is a war between mankind and the Satrians, which they're this warrior race of goat kind. But when we enter the story, the humans are utterly wiped out, like a genocide, which I always thought was interesting to take that kind of perspective with the story, because that was in the forefront of my mind. It was like, all right, humans are dead. Like, enough of this where, the humans are the heroes, and,
Right.
and there's all these different human kingdoms.
Yeah.
Boring, in my opinion. That's been done to death. Humans are done. They're wiped out. There's a few of them left. And that's where we take off. So they've had their long reign. They've had their kings and empresses and all that stuff. So it's like coming to the end of almost like a Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, dynasty, and now it's over. We're coming to see them wiped out. It's as if the orcs came in and just obliterated everyone.
Nice.
And that's where we stand. So, but we're seeing different perspectives of that war, or the remnants of that war, in the eyes of the humans, and then the Satrians, which is the goat race. And then we do take a bit of a time jump because it's comics, and I figure I can do whatever I want, right? We can go with sci-fi if I want, right? So we jumped a couple of centuries into the future. Same landscape, same places, same names. But how does this world look in a sci-fi setting? And that's another thing that I always wanted to do. When I had sent the production outline to Peter, uh, I he knew I was going to go into the future, but even I didn't know I was going to go that far into the future.
Yeah.
I was like, a couple of 100 years. And I was like, if you're going to do this, you got to do it. It's
Do it all the way.
comics. Exactly. So I was
Yeah.
like, the hell with it. So this volume, though, gives us a taste of the old dark fantasy stuff from the first 2 miniseries and the future. So there's an event or a character that greatly influences something that's happening in the future period. So there is a group of commandos that receive a distress call in the sci-fi setting. It is a downed science vessel, a research vessel, and it's in the Forbidden Desert, which is this big, vast expanse of land where it's just no one ever really goes there unless there's a mining facility or it's archaeologists trying to find lost civilizations. And this thing crashes there. This team responds, and they have to face this brutal beast that is wreaking havoc at a neighboring mining facility. But in order to destroy the creature, they need to uncover its mysterious origin. And that's when the short stories come into play, which are set in the dark fantasy old school setting. So, or medieval-esque. So they're really important to the story, and they're short stories. I'm illustrating the main storyline with the future period, and then we're going to have little short stories by Christian Rossi, uh, artists of Voidwalker, Trespasser, and then we have also Vince Rush, which everyone's going to be blown away when they see his work. And then we have one that we unlocked at the 12K mark, which was Jeff Elkins, except he's going to be doing a future story. And
Nice.
because I missed that dark fantasy setting, I'm doing one of the past stories as well, because It's my book, damn it.
That's right. Why not?
So, that's Wrath of Kings, and the cool thing is that you can jump in right in at this point if you wanted. So, obviously, I recommend you get maybe the series or collector bundle, and you could get caught up with everything. But if you jumped in here, we're entering a new era in the saga, because I like to think the first 3 miniseries are basically like, a self-contained epic, and now we're moving forward into a new generation, into how we move forward from this big event that happened at the end of Volume 3. So I'm just asking questions and saying, let's see what happens if we go here,
That's right, and you're answering them in the book. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell, and we could show the campaign too when you're ready, so they could see what it looks like.
Okay, yeah, let's go and jump into that.
Okay.
Let's see here.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes. So, oh yeah, that's right. I have control. So this is the campaign. We're at 15K. I can't believe it. 265 backers with 8 days left, folks.
That is awesome.
This is it. This is the last hurrah of the campaign.
Get it while you can. 8 days left.
That's right. And I appreciate everyone spreading the word and supporting it. I'm a little bit biased, but I can truly say that this is going to be something that's going to be extremely memorable. I've spent a lot of time on this, a lot of planning, a lot of, again, trying to put all of the little connectors together with the past and the present storylines and everything like that. But, having put everything together now and it's done, because everything is done except for Jeff Elkins is illustrating the last little short story, and he literally has like 6 pages left.
Oh,
the guy's a beast. So,
yeah.
And they look fantastic.
I bet.
When everyone sees that stuff, they're going to be blown away, and it's going to be a really complete epic on its own. And that's what's funny, is that this started out as a small little short story about a group of commandos that are going to just respond to a distress call. And then I was like, you know what? This is starting to become something even bigger, because what if I connect it to this event that happened in the past, which readers have read about. I don't want to spoil it. Okay. So they're going to see certain things in full, stuff that we've talked about, legends we've talked about. So I can't wait. So this is a little glimpse at one of the pages by Christian Rossi. This is one of the past
Very nice. Christian's an amazing artist.
He's fantastic and fast. I don't know how he does it.
He's working on so many things all at once.
He's a beast.
I just pictured him surrounded by drawing tables, and he's just like
he's like an octopus. I think he's an alien. That's what I think. But maybe I'm into the conspiracy theory stuff, but I don't know. I think he's an alien, but a good one.
He's one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones. And here's a little glimpse at Vince Rush's art. So, by the way, I did all the screen tones, because for those of you who aren't familiar with Blood Realm, it's the black and white and red and gray screen tones, because I'm a big fan of that from the manga that I used to read and still read. So
now, is that done digitally or traditionally?
All digital. All digital.
Okay.
All of the art is traditional, but the colors and the screen tones are, because it would take me forever. To do it otherwise. But so then this is Vince Rush's art here, and a tale that spans the ages, and then this is my stuff here. So I thank you, and I wanted to pick obviously artists that I felt would really fit well in the universe of Blood Realm, and I really feel that these guys just they're a good fit. So now this is that mining facility that I talk about that the commandos go to respond to, and this is Salvation 1. Salvation 1 is it's the main headquarters. It kind of is the central hub. There's all these towers that people will see when we enter the story that are mining, and this is the thing that controls it all. So that's where this creature ends up running to and causing havoc, and there's over 200 workers on this facility. So obviously, now the stakes are even higher, because now there's lives at stake in this place, and they're trapped there with the creature, and these commandos have to get in there. And then here's my little stuff of the past, because the story of Lycurgus, readers will know, who battled the last of the Obis. We're going to see that in full. And we're also doing our first ever variant issue. I was hesitant about variants, but I always wanted to make a classic looking cover.
I like this one.
Thank you. Like the old school 70s, 80s comics,
Right. With that little banner you got going across the alternate comics group, like that.
Yeah.
Brings to mind like the old Marvel comics back in the day.
Exactly. This stuff was the best. So
Yeah.
So this is the cover, the variant cover. And this is not going to be available through Alterna. This is only through me. So there's no other way to get this. So, but yeah, it's exciting. This is the issue before this miniseries starts. So it's kind of cool because I wasn't going to do a variant for an issue that people already have with this one. I thought it would be cool if people who are new are getting what just happened, and now they get into the miniseries. I think that would be a cool way to do the variant, So, and this is by me, and the colors are by Dave Swartz, who does Feast or Famine over at Alterna. And it's really funny because I don't usually see my work in color.
Yeah.
So I was
How do you like it?
I was like,
What was that
it
like? Yeah.
It was weird. I was like, this is strange. But I really like what he did. I think it came out fantastic, and he put the nice texture there.
Yeah.
So, and this artwork is available too, the variant artwork.
Be a great T-shirt.
Yes, I know people are saying that. I'm considering it.
Yeah.
And then we have prints. We have prints by El Padrino, Juan Sanabria.
Oh, nice.
And Nick Welsh is doing the colors, who colors just about almost everything at Alterna.
Right.
And we have a print for each time period. I thought that was appropriate. We have Lycurgus fighting one of the old beasts, and then we have one of the commandos fighting the big bad creature.
That's awesome. I love that one.
Futuristic one. Oh yeah, this one is by Matthias Villalba, and Nick Welch. Nick Welch did the colors for both, and I thought Nick Welch nailed the colors for this thing.
Yeah, he did.
Just incredible. And again, and credit to Matthias. I think he did an incredible job as well with the illustration. Yeah. He knew exactly what I wanted. And I just imagine this thing. I don't know for any of you who are Resident Evil fans. I just imagine this thing like the Tyrant or the William Birkin. In like one of the last stages when he's like all warped up.
Yeah.
So this thing is so formidable and so ferocious, and when you see where this thing came from, it's gonna be really cool. I wish I could see people's faces.
So is this the beast that they're gonna fight when they go up to the
mining facility?
One?
Yes,
okay.
That's it. Yeah, when they get to Salvation 1, this is the creature that is causing ruthless, brutal death and havoc. So. And where it came from again, it's going to be a fun thing for because it's like they're as the commandos are learning, the readers are learning as well.
Right.
So that's why there's a piece of the past in each issue. Because at first I was like, you know what, let me just give the history of this thing right in the first issue, and then we could go. But then I was like, you know what, no, I was like, it would be fun for the reader to kind of piece things together and see when they can discover it. Do they discover it sooner? Do they discover it later?
Right.
So I think the idea of them doing it as they're doing it is kind of a fun little more immersive part of the storytelling.
Yeah, if you can get that participation in there with the reader and the story, it's just
it
makes it even better, stronger connection to it.
Right. So I love the way that came out. I think he did an amazing job, Nick and Matthias. So
yeah. I
can't wait to see those prints. And then we have the most requested item from all of the readers, which was they want a cloth map of the world of Blood Realm. So ask and ye shall receive. That's how it works with Lord Cyphus and the Blighted One. So we got cloth maps coming.
That's awesome, man.
By 17. It's going to have the frayed edges like this.
Beautiful.
I can't wait. Obviously, I have to get one for myself.
Right.
But I'm really excited to see how this thing looks. The people who are designing this do this professionally for board games.
Okay.
So you're going to have a really nice, cool-looking map of the lands of Mordrin.
What material is it going to be printed on? What kind of cloth, do you know?
I don't know what kind of cloth. I have to find out. But I know it's a high-quality cloth, and it's going to feel nice. It's going to feel real nice. Okay. And then we have the cast. And Nick Welsh colored the map, by the way. I just want to point that out. Yeah. And then we have the cast. So obviously there's a lot more characters, but like the central characters, we have Captain Lycurgus, who becomes Prince Lycurgus. For those of you who've read the series, know him. We have Corthax Mithril, he's a mage, and how he plays a role in the story, people will see. I feel like the only mage we've seen was Volume 2, so it's kind of cool to see the culture of mages and the hierarchy of mages before Oleg jumps into the story, who's the main character of Volume 2. So we're going to see more of them.
That's cool.
And then we have Captain Fulcher. Captain Fulcher is the leader of the commandos in that short story. So we're going to see him, and we're going to see what role he plays in this story. And we have the original artwork here. We're selling the artwork for the variant.
Very nice.
Original art from the comic series is also available. Sketch cover commissions. So anyone wants me to design a sketch cover for them, a Blood Realm blank sketch cover, I'm more than happy to do that. Sketch cards are also available in black and white. And yes, we also have great add-ons. And these are the perks. We have a digital bundle for all of you international backers out there. We have the Dark Disciple, which includes the Prince, all of the previous volumes, a blank sketch cover, the variant, and Wrath of Kings. That's like almost 400 pages of content to read.
Wow.
Yeah. So you get a lot, because the Giants are the collection of each miniseries. So they're like 80 pages, over 80 pages each.
Yep.
Yeah. And Wrath of Kings with the variant here. I did a graphic novel, which is a slasher horror graphic novel called Wirehead. I have a few copies left over from that, so if anyone missed out on that, they could grab that here. You could always make it an add-on to your perk to your backing as well. Sketch card commission. The series bundle, which includes everything. This gets you all caught up. Volume 1, 2, and 3, the variant, and Wrath of Kings. All caught up with content. Cloth map. This has been available for an add-on as well. Sketch cover, and that's it. And the variant original art. Original comic art. And, they're all sold out. I was going to say the Sisters of Silence statues are sold out. Okay, these are handmade statues that I make of the main characters from Volume 1. So it looks like they're all gone.
Wow.
All right.
It's awesome, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the campaign looks great. I'm excited to see it. See the books in my hand. Yeah.
I can't wait to get them out. They're ready to go. We just got to get those last pages, and then boom.
So when are you planning to fulfill?
April.
Okay.
I think I just want to give myself extra time. It could be earlier. Could be.
Right.
But we'll see. We are. I mean, like I said, it's basically finished. So
yeah.
I just can't wait to get these things there, because I've been reading it all over again. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm at this point where I'm just like, I just want them to experience this already.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, So that's it.
That's awesome. Wrath of Kings.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about your influences. What influenced you as an artist, as a writer?
What influenced me? Well, I always loved comics as a kid. I always loved drawing comics. So it was just a matter of, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I always knew what I wanted to do. I can't describe it. I love comic books, and I loved fantasy. I loved Clash of the Titans as a kid. I would always love horror stories, like scary stories to tell in the dark when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I always loved stuff with a darker twist. I loved the X-Men cartoon, the Batman animated series, but I was like, you know, why every time like Cyclops would shoot one of the jet fighters, you would always see the bad guy, you know, because they can't show death. They just always jump out with a parachute. And I'm just like, kill him. Come on, man.
It was the same way on G.I. Joe. I mean, they did the same thing.
Yeah, G.I. Joe did the same thing. Yeah, it's just like the thing explodes and they're just like,
yeah,
I'm just
parachute down.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So even as a kid, I was like, oh man, I was like, there's no sense of, I don't know, macabre. You know what I mean? There's like, where's the death?
You were a dark kid, Rob.
I was, man. So, you know, and again, and comic books with that storytelling, I've never seen storytelling like that before, where
Yeah.
you're going through the comic and it looks like it's happening right in front of your eyes. Like
Yeah.
that was just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that before, and I knew I wanted to do that. I was like, this is what I want to do. So
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it, but I figured I was going to figure it out. And I always made stories when I was a kid in my books, even in my math books. My math books weren't math books; they were basically sketchbooks for me. I can't stand math to this day.
Yeah. Same
So
here.
yeah,
Must be an
so
artist thing. I don't
I
think
think
many
it is.
artists. Yeah, I don't think many artists like math.
No, I can't think of anyone, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's got to be a couple,
Yeah.
but that was it. And then I saw the work of Frank Miller. When I saw that Frank Miller create his own stuff, he illustrated his own
Right.
stuff, that was inspiring to me. I was always drawn to the single creator. Obviously,
Hmm.
someone else could color it or whatever, but just the idea that it was his vision, I always gravitated to those creators. Like
Yeah.
even Star Wars, when obviously bigger elements came into play with Star Wars to make it the success that it was, but it's just the idea of someone's vision, you know, and they're the creator of it. That was always inspiring to me, and that's mainly the direction I always wanted to take it. And to do this with Blood Realm is like a dream come true. And the fact that readers want to back the campaign and they want to support it and read it, I can't ask for anything more.
Oh, yeah. And you're at a good publisher too.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
trying to-
oh yeah. Old Turn is the best.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. So what's your creative process like?
Well, I sketch in a little sketchbook all my thumbnails, and then what I do is I take my thumbnails and then I blow them up to size and I print them, because I think the biggest mistake that a lot of artists make is that they try to redraw their thumbnails and it's just like good luck,
You lose that energy.
instantly
Yeah.
gone. It's just
Yeah.
it's vapid, it's still, it's static, it's not alive anymore. So
Yeah.
even I tell my students, I'm just like, you're wasting your time trying to redraw. You'll spend 3 hours the entire time trying to redraw a finger from that, and it won't look right.
Yeah.
It's just like it's lightning in a bottle, and the only way to capture it is to just take that and blow it up. You know.
Yep.
So that's I do that with everything I do, everything. So that's my illustrative process there. I used to be very tight with my pencils, and eventually you just get comfortable enough with the way you make your mark on the paper, where
Right.
you just say, "All right, this is loose,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna go in here with ink," and that's
Yeah.
it. So sometimes, depending on what it is, the scene, like it's like a little pencil line, and I barely even use the pencil. I just go in with the ink. So, don't fear the ink. That's the thing.
Right.
Don't fear it.
Yeah. There's I don't say a title, but like there's pencilers, there's inkers, and then you got your finishers.
Yeah.
Like so like the finisher is the person who doesn't need the pencils to be tight. They can just go in
Yeah.
and finish the artwork.
Right.
And I feel like if you're an artist who inks over yourself, you get to a point where your pencils can stay loose. They don't have to be tight finished.
Absolutely. Because
'Cause you
know
got that.
already.
Yeah, you can go in with the inks and
Yeah, because like if you work with an inker, that guy needs to know where to put the blacks.
right. Yeah.
And if he can't figure out where to put the blacks, then it's going to be like, oh, So, but the artist who's inking his own stuff knows. He knows himself
yeah.
already at this point. So,
yeah.
that's you just get more comfortable and more loose, and then so that's how I work.
Yeah.
Writing wise, I generally just let's see. I listen to a lot of soundtrack music.
Do you?
Yeah, a lot of soundtracks.
Do you have a go-to soundtrack?
It all depends on what I'm writing. So if it's
Okay.
for Blood Realm and it's a certain scene, if it's something like right now in the sci-fi period, I'm listening to a lot of Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
Or I'm listening to the Gears of War soundtrack. From the Xbox game from 360. I love that soundtrack. Love that series. So I always try to find music that is in the same genre of the stuff I'm writing.
Yeah.
It gets me in the mood.
No.
So
I do the same thing.
yeah, you have to. You just imagine that it's the score to your stuff. So
That's right.
that's how I go about doing it. And then as I hear the beats of the music, I start to imagine the beats of the story, or I could see certain
Right.
things, and then suddenly everything starts to come alive in your head, and yeah, that's the most fun though. That process is my favorite. It's
Yeah.
just coming up with the story, not having to actually make it. Because then once you start making it, you're like, why am I doing this? This is like going to take me a
Right.
year. Oh, because this one, Wrath of Kings,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when I started this. I think it was during the pandemic. I can't even. Yeah, it's been a long one. It's a beast
Yeah.
of a. It's going to be a beast of a book.
How many pages total did you
So,
draw?
so did I draw? Let's see. Well, one of them I did 32. The other one I did 24, and then this one I did 24 as well. So 24, 32, 24. So whatever that is. And then I
Yeah.
wrote the scripts for the other ones.
Again, artist, not good at math, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's 48 plus 32 is, carry that over.
80.
Yeah, 80 pages.
All right. Hey, we got it. Took 2 artists to solve that simple math problem.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
80 pages. It's a lot.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and the
That is
rest,
a lot of work.
it is a lot of work. So there are 40 pages of content each. There's 8 pages of alternate ads in each book. Well, not specifically alternate ads, just ads.
Right.
So they're going to be 48 pages, and it's like 150 pages. So that's
Wow.
in total of
It's
everything.
amazing.
I can't believe it. Because when they do the giant, like when he prints the giant of it, I mean, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big book. Now the thing is, the problem is, how do you beat the next one? And you know
Right.
what's funny is that I always used to think, oh, it must get easier with every book, and then sometimes I'm like, sometimes it does, and sometimes it gets harder,
Yeah.
But the good thing
Right.
is that I have the whole story laid out. I did this all before I did anything,
Right.
So it's just I always want to do like little short stories as well because as you're coming up with these characters, you kind of just create the history of certain characters that the reader won't necessarily read. It's just for you to develop them.
Right.
So, but now I'm like, but some of those I can tell, and I think the readers would really enjoy some of that stuff. So maybe the next volume, will just be a book of short stories before we get into slowly wrapping up, because the last 2 volumes are going to wrap up everything, wrap up the entire saga. And it's a definitive end. So I have to clear up or put in as much as I can before that, because there's no going back.
Right. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Oleg, so if you could do another Oleg story, that'd be awesome.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, the mage. People liked Oleg a lot. What is
Yeah.
about Oleg that you liked about him?
I think the fact that he was a mage, like he could like cross over into the tether,
Yeah.
like that scene was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's just something about him, and then of course this tragic ending. I won't spoil it for anybody
Yeah,
who
yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
read the book, but
Right.
um,
There's
yeah,
something about tragic characters, right? It's
Yeah.
funny you said that. Why is that we're drawn to those characters? Because I feel the same way about characters. I'm
Yeah.
drawn to the one who is trying his darndest
Mhm.
and is so badass,
yeah, but fails at the end.
but fails at the end. I'm
Yeah.
just so drawn to that. Like, my favorite character in Lord of the Rings is not Aragorn, not Legolas, not Gimli, not Faramir, not Gandalf, not Frodo, or any of the other hobbits.
Yeah.
It's Boromir.
Yeah.
Boromir is my favorite character. One of my favorite characters ever. I just love that character. He's so human. He struggles, but he's a phenomenal warrior. He makes it right up until the end. And then he's in the battle he can't win, and it's just brutal.
Yeah.
And oh God, I have to go watch that scene. But he's such a great character. And that's the characters I like, where we
Yeah.
get, and it makes you want more of them because you just had them in that slice,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
now you're like, oh man, like he's gone. That character's not coming
Yeah.
back now. What would have been like if Boromir survived? But you can't, you can play in your head, but you're like, I can't, because he was destined to die in the story. So
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by stuff like that. Even Game of Thrones, although I think Game of Thrones just completely just went off the rails and ruined it.
Yeah.
My favorite character was Stannis. I love Stannis because I knew he had no shot. I knew he wasn't gonna win. It wasn't even like a thought in my brain. But
Yeah.
I loved his arc, and I loved his ruthless attempt for the throne. It's like, dude, you're not gonna make it. We can see it, but like I'm rooting for you because I love the characters that have no shot, but they're going to give it their all, and just die on that, whatever.
Die on that hill. Yeah.
Die on that hill. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's like a sympathetic attribute we have, like just relating to a character that we aspire to be like, or we relate to, like we're trying our hardest in life, and when we see them fail,
right,
it's like it gets us because like I'm so relatable.
Right, and maybe that's what it is about Boromir too, is that Boromir really struggles with, he has a natural temptation that we all have, right? It's the ring and everything like that. It speaks to him. He sees power. He thinks he can control his temptation. That's what's so cool, because I'm sure we all think, I'm under control. Right. I'm under control here. But then, are you under control? Are you really? What's missing in your heart that you're not in control? You feel you are. You know what I mean? That's pride. That's envy.
Yeah.
So, and that's his downfall. So it's just, I love stories like that. I mean, it's why the Shakespearean tragedies just have lasted. They're timeless because those themes are so timeless. Even look, you could even go as far back as the Bible. Like these are timeless themes in these in these stories that just completely compel us.
Right.
So, and that's my biggest attempt with this story, because mainly I'm just pouring everything on the paper about me, and I'm trying to figure out life, so I try to figure out by doing what I'm doing here.
Right.
That's essentially what it is. So,
you
want to get a good glimpse into my psyche?
This is the window. Life,
this is it.
Yeah.
This is the window into my brain.
Yeah. So, what aspect of Meek is you?
That's a good question. Yeah. So Meek is the main character from Volume 1. I would say Meek is the one who is. There is a shyness or to take that big step on that journey. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Meek comes from very humble beginnings, and he finds himself in a situation where he has to basically make a decision whether or not he's going to go on this big journey with those Sisters of Silence. And he does it. So it's, I guess, like in a way, that's all of us in a way. It's like, do I take this step out?
Right.
And do I make this long trek, which is almost like hell,
Yeah.
But what's the reward at the end? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah.
And then he got his reward at the end.
He does, but it's interesting. Yes. At the end of that one, for sure.
Yeah, dark reward. Yeah.
It's a dark reward, but
yeah.
The meek will inherit the earth, right?
That's right. Now, did you do that on purpose?
Maybe.
Maybe. It was just a happy accident.
What's funny thinking back at it? I think maybe subconsciously I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was a fully conscious thing. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was in there.
Yeah, it's in there. It's lingering.
It was in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All the characters we write are basically a representative of us.
Yeah. No, they're a facet of us, definitely. Mm-hmm. Whether it's something we aspire to be, or whether it's something that we're ashamed to have been.
Oh yeah.
Or just the struggles we have now.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why the character Chiron Morville is everything I'd love to be. To face adversity, but then yet he does have his demons, because no one is perfect in the world of Blood Realm. I mean, come on, it's called Blood Realm. I doubt it. Right. But there's a tragedy to Chiron Morville, and then his complete antithesis is, and his archenemy is, Archdemon Targanus. Mm. But what's funny is that they're tied together. Chiron is essentially the reason he exists, and he's everything. Like we see all the purity and the perfectness of Chiron, but
Yeah.
all of the opposite of those qualities is manifested in this being called Archdemon Targanus. So it's the disgusting dark nature that's in the human soul. That's what Targanus is. He literally rapes the land of Mordrin with his corruption, and he just hungers for greed, power, and to oppress and devour everything. So it's never enough for him. And there's a couple of short stories that I desperately want to do that I had written when I was thinking about him and his reign. So I'm definitely going to bring those to light, because we see a little glimpse of his little entourage, on that page in Volume 3 when we see that he had taken over. So, yeah, we're going to dive into that stuff. So each one has some kind of character that represents. I'm not that kind of person, but I'm human.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
on the weekends.
Right. Weekend Rob. Yeah. But that's Weekend Rob.
That's Weekend Rob.
Yeah.
That's Targanus to you, sir.
Targanus Rob. Yeah.
Targanus Rob. Oh gosh. Yeah, you caught me on a Thursday, so we're good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. And then I'm trying to think about the Lycurgus character who we follow in this new volume is very much, he's Macbethian. It's he's the last of the Iron Wolves, and a strong warrior, and enters a forbidden love with the Queen's daughter. And this isn't a spoiler. This we know in Volume 1. And he sets off to fight 3 massive creatures in order to save her. And that comes from my love for Clash of the Titans. I love the stories, and St. George, the legend of St. George and the Dragon. I love the idea of a hero who is faced against impossible odds, but he rides on his steed head on with his sword in hand. And to me, that's really powerful. That they would do that. Someone would do that. So, but at the same time, is he defying the will of destiny and the gods? Because the princess is destined to die. So you're killing these sacred creatures for what? Is it for your own selfish need? Because you can't let go. So, yeah.
Interesting themes.
Yeah. It's heavy stuff here at Blood Run.
It is. It's good stuff.
Yes, thank you.
All right. It's 38 minutes in here.
Wow.
Yeah. It went by fast.
It did. Holy mackerel. Jeez. Well, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Any last words before we go?
Check out the campaign. We have 8 days left. And if you haven't checked out Blood Realm, now's the time. I think you guys would really enjoy it. If you enjoyed the stuff that I was talking about, I think it's something you guys would definitely gravitate to. So
Definitely, yeah. Do you want to share that one more time, the screen?
Sure.
I want to share the campaign real quick.
I'll show it one more time. Share. Okay, there we go. Yep.
All right, yeah, so back this campaign. Some good stories. Good writing, great artwork.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care, everybody.
All right.